Hi there, welcome back. So the sleeves are the same because it really is still the same day, but I'm splitting them up just so you have something else to watch on the next day. But as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I had this idea for incorporating just messy watercolor into these books. I wouldn't attempt to try to replicate Edith's beautiful work. But I did start thinking, like I said, about little test sheets that you use. Like when you're doing a watercolor painting, you usually will tape off your paper onto a board, and or else sometimes you tape off around the edge of your painting you're working on, so the border that's left over, you can use that to dab little bits of your paint. If you feel like you're worried you've got too much paint, you can test how much paint is on your brush and get any excess off, or add more if it's not vibrant enough. And those are pretty even in their own right. But another thing that ends up being quite interesting looking within, a few painting sessions is an artist's rag, because any kind of artist will always have a rag handy. Let me grab my latest one. And depending on the painting, sorry, I'm far away. Depending on the painting you're working on will determine what colors are on your rag. So here's my latest rag, and you can see that I was working on, there was some glue in that one. There's some purple, lots of, the colors that I like in my books, of the browns, the rusty browns, the dark browns. There's a little bit of a nice turquoise in there. Oh, there's some black. So, you're using your rag to, if you've swished your brush and you want to give it a bit of a cleaning or squeeze any excess moisture out so that you can get a really intense color dip, load up your brush with a really intense amount, and then get back to work. And I thought about, what about incorporating what might have been one of Edith's, rags that she would have had handy when she would be out working in plein air, and, getting it off your finger if you got some on your finger. Or sometimes you'll use your rag to dab up a blot that has had too much water on your paper. Or else, say you want to, as I mentioned in yesterday's video with watercolor, I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here. Most of you probably know very well how to work with watercolor. But if you're not familiar with it, you can, if you've painted something and you decide later that it's too dark, you can re-wet it, and then you can dab, and you can lift and lighten up the color to fade it a bit more, and lift it out of the paper, especially if you're using a really good quality paper. It will allow you to do that. And some of us will just happen, I usually will just get my finger in there and just go in and lift up whatever color I've decided is too intense for what I was looking for in my painting. And so I started playing with just a little piece of fabric, and again using the colors that maybe Edith would have used in a painting, the yellows and the pinks of the flowers, and a little bit of green. And then I wanted it a bit grungier, so what I did was I crumpled it up, and then I dabbed it right onto my acorn pad, and that left these little marks here, and I like how that looks. So that's what I want to do today. I have some tea-dyed cotton here, and I want to soak them with water first, and then I'm just going to dab just for a rainbow effect. I'm not necessarily looking to make it look legitimate like this. I'm going to take some artistic license. I want my Edith paint rags to actually look really pretty. And then when they're dry, I want to tear them up and maybe make some ruffles out of them. Now, I want to put these onto something so that I can lift it and move it later when I want to work on something else. So I'm going to pause and go find something, a lid or something that I can work on these so I don't get water on my desk. So hold on a second. Okay, so I've just got this pan here, and it'll do just fine because I'm going to let it dry crumpled up anyways. I want some wrinkles. See how this one is quite wrinkly, and I want wrinkles in it. So let me roll up my sleeves and get to work. Let's soak these again. But I am actually going to dip these in my grungy water over here. Let's get one out for now. And I'm liking, let's put a little bit of pink here and there. So see how it just sort of spider veins out. And I'm just going to play a little bit here and there so it looks like she's cleaned her brush. She would use lots of these greens, I recognize. This is Hoover's green, in case you're wondering and you want to run out and get a tube or a pan of Hoover's green. You probably already have it. I'm going to add a bit more water to that. Oh, I like that one. That one is, oh, you know what? I can't even pronounce it. Quina something or other. You can do this with any watercolor. I mean, these just happen to be, this is my kit I treated myself to. I guess about 2 years ago now, and I'm quite happy with it. I was looking for a watercolor, a portable watercolor, you know, to put in your bag to go on the go. Let's do some yellow here. I need more water for my yellow. And I mean, a good one you can never go wrong with is a good old little Winsor Newton starter. You can't go wrong with that. If you're wondering, you can get them very inexpensively. They're smaller than this, and they'll have everything you need to get going. But you know what? A dollar store watercolor, you'll do fine. Let's put a little blue in here So there's a bit of blue everywhere as well. See how that's quite intense, so I'm going to just add some water to it, and then I'm going to wrinkle it up, and then whatever will be. I want a little bit of brown in there, because she would have had some brown to clean out her brush, and there would have been brown in there. All the forests and trees and dead leaves and things that toadstools. She would have gone through lots of browns, lots of greens. And I'm hoping, I have fingers crossed, that this does what I'm looking for it to do. So I'm going to, oh, now that presents an interesting possibility. Look at that. Let's just lay this down on it and see what we get. That doesn't hurt to do that, right? Painter's rag. But like I said, this wouldn't be, plus it wouldn't be your typical absorbent fabric that you would necessarily use. I mean, I just grab old towels. I make use of I illustrated an entire children's book once, and I just used the old flannel diapers. I didn't have children in diapers anymore, so I went through old flannel diapers and, you know, washed them out, but they still stayed stained, but it doesn't matter as long as they're clean. They were pretty by the time I was done with them. Then they eventually will get really muddy looking. And like I said, the one book that I did had a lot of green because there were a lot of scenes that were in a park. So there was a lot of grass, there was a lot of trees. I went through every shade of green in my palette and then some. Your paint rag will have a little bit of everything. Here's a little bit of a more lemony yellow. But I mean, true watercolor artists, they'll, you know, some will go, oh, you're using Daniel Smith. I've heard this and that about the pigment, or, you know, oh, don't use Winsor Newton. You know what? If you're just getting started, Winsor Newton will do just fine. Heck, dollar store one will do just fine if you want to do this in a book. Go get some watercolor paints. Go to Walmart and get a children's watercolor tray and have fun. And then these are just going to get crumpled up and left to dry. And then hopefully make beautiful either ruffles or who knows. There we go. It's almost like paintbrush tie-dye. Uh-huh. Alrighty. So I'm going to move this and leave it to dry. There we go. I had a little bit more fun. Remember the pocket we made yesterday? I had a little bit more fun today, making a few more. And there's a few drying over on my standing table behind me. Isn't that cool about watercolor? You can just wake it up. There we go. Alrighty. That's good. And now I'm going to crumple this one so it's wrinkly. And I'm just going to leave them to dry. Gee, that's pretty. Woohoo! Alright, hold on. Cleaning off my hands of all the paint. And I still had glue on it from this morning. Here we go. I found this was my original little box of Winsor & Newton paints. Oh, come on. And I still love it. I still love it. The pans are hard to come by now, and usually I'll just squirt tubes into the pans now because I still prefer this to work with. But it's because what I was used to. I took an art course with an artist. Oh my goodness, I think she was from Manitoba. Katie MacDonald Denton. She's illustrated so many children's books. And I love her style, her beautiful, beautiful flowy watercolors. And she just, in the class that I took, she pulled out hers was a tin. And she goes, it's the first one I ever bought. And she said, and it serves me well. She says, I don't need any other color than what's in this box. And I refill it, and she does the same thing. If she can't get the pans anymore, the little half pans, she just squirts, she buys the tube of the ones she goes through the most and squirts them in. This one's missing one because I put it over into my newer big one, my Daniel Smith one. And but I will still use this one because it's tinier than that big black one, and it's handy. It will fit into my little small one, and it came with this tiny little paintbrush that fit right in there. And I wore that paintbrush out because it was just so convenient. Sometimes I'd get to where I was going and I think, ah, jeepers, I don't even have a paintbrush with me. What kind of artist am I? And there would be the little one that always fit in there. And no, you know what? I didn't wear it out. I ended up needing a brush for, oh, I'm having a brain cramp. Frisk, so that to block out white spots. And I ended up using the little tiny folding travel brush that would fit in there, and I used it for that, and then didn't clean it, and I ruined it. That's why I don't have it anymore. Anyhow, This is sentimental to me now. I just love this one. I don't think you can get this style anymore. And this is certainly more modern than the one Katie MacDonald Denton uses and makes all kinds of award-winning money from hers. And she said, she said, if you find the paints that work for you, she said, she was the one that told me, she said, don't worry about snobs that say, oh, don't use this or don't use that. She said, if the color I need is in Winsor and Newton, I get it. She said, and if it's in something more expensive, I grab that if it's on sale. She said, but don't worry about it. But you do want, if you're ever going to get into serious watercolor, which I no longer am interested in, you do want a good quality pigment that's going to last and retain its color. Anyhow, there's my sweet little old original watercolor box. Wonder someday if they'll go through my things and somebody will want this watercolor box. Who knows? Anyhow, let's do one last little thing, seeing as we got a few minutes here. Where's our little pocket that we did yesterday? Because I love it and I'm very happy with our pocket. There it is, right there. Look at that. That will hold a lot. That's a big, full pocket for me. With the little picture of Moseley, which is the town where Edith was born. And, oh, I should show you what I did back here in the tuck spots that I put on the back. I had put this window envelope back here. So I made a big photo. This is Evelyn. And apparently in this picture she's a teenager and she's making a poster for an event that they were holding. So I love that you can see she's got her smock on to protect her dress. And she's outside painting. It's just, I love that. Anyhow, I have been thinking about what to do about this, and no laughing, and I know I've told you this before, that was my attempt at trying to make a lace imprint tea dyeing. This is a few years old. This envelope, I think it's like at least 3 years old. And I gave up. You know what? When Nancy can do it so well, and every once in a while takes pity on me and gives me some of her gorgeous papers, I'm just always happy to wait, or else go to her shop. When you go to her shop, if she ever has them on sale in her shop, snap up some of her lace tea-dyed or avocado dyed papers, because I don't know anyone who can do them like she does. She's got a magic touch, that's for sure. And the sunburn to prove it. I want to put in a little tab. I have one here. I saved even the tiniest little pieces of marbled paper that I had left over. And so I made a little tab there. This piece of offcut was from here, that side of the lace. So nothing got wasted. I still have a bit left. Well, I've still got one more of these left, so I need to decide. And what I usually do to decide is I sort of look at the profile and decide where does something need to stick out. And I think something needs to stick out in these upper layers somewhere in here. So, oh yeah, I should show you that too. I think I want to do here, because this is from a gardening journal book that I tea dyed, and so I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this, and I think what I will do is wrap it around and then do that. I wonder if I should, maybe the other half of this little picture here that we didn't use, and then it could be a tuck. Mind you, you can't see that. No. Maybe a little piece of lace. That's prettier. And then I can still, if I stick this out far enough, I can put a eyelet in it, and we can, boy, I'm really having brain cramps. We can put a little dangle on it. So, all right, so we're going to have to do this in bits and pieces. I want this more here. So I am going to, because I've already sewn my text block together, this would be really hard to try and sew to fit it under the free arm of my machine, even though I have done it. I did it in the red book. Wait till I show you what I managed to sew in, because I decided at the last minute that the red book needed lace and it needed to be sewn in. Well, my goodness, the standing on my head I had to do to get that text block to fit under the free arm. I think this is going to need way more glue. Thank goodness for 3-in-1. Wondering if I should use like a little piece of paper behind here to just to firm it up a bit. You won't see it, but it'll make it a little bit firmer. It's still too big. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a, if you're watching this on Wednesday, I hope you're having a happy Wednesday. And if you're watching it on another day, I hope you're having a happy another day. We had Mother's Day this past weekend here in Canada. And I know in the US, I don't know if anywhere else in the world, but it was our Mother's Day. I have mixed feelings about Mother's Day. It's one of those holidays that I have a love-hate relationship with, because I feel like it's yet again another holiday that got hijacked by the greeting card industry. And it leaves so many people left with, for so many different reasons, broken hearts. And that it's not a happy day for them. And again, for lots of reasons, whether it's because they've lost a child, or because they've wanted a child, or because they've lost a parent, a mother, or you know, they didn't fit into the mold that that society expects of us. I'm going to sew this. Hold on. Okay, so I just sewed around it. Whether it's noticeable or not, who knows. I like this side. It's got a little bit of yellow and green. Anyhow, yeah, so I have a love-hate relationship with Mother's Day, which you'd be surprised, being a mother of, I have 5 of my own and I have 2 bonus children. But my Mother's Day was nice, so it, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw Kirby got me flowers. She's very thoughtful. Gee, I kind of like that just on its own. Do I want to cover that up? I don't think I want to cover that up. But the green shows up. And then I see green. And there's going to be more when my bundled up rags dry. So, which side do I like better? I like this side better. Yeah, we're putting it on. No, we're not. I really love that. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. It's going to go somewhere else. I bet I don't have any pink. I wish I had a pink big one. I have pink little ones, but I really want a big one. Oh, she's playing. I could hear the strangest noises coming out from under the table. I can see blue in here. I never know what I've got because these things I find at thrift stores. I do manage to find these at thrift stores. I've had good luck with the large ones at thrift stores. I want a white one. There it is. Got it. I want a white one. Oh. I don't know why I'm keeping this. I guess I'm keeping it just in case one day my crocodile decides to die on me mid-project. So now I'm still going to have to find a place for that green one. Oh well, that's the way it works with junk journals. Now I have to be careful because I don't want to poke through there. I hope this is dry. Yay, it is. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Nope, don't like it. This is one of those things that my husband would say, that looks fine. It looks fine. What's the big deal? Use it. No, it's not. It's not perfect. Green would be perfect, or pink would be perfect. But I don't... Do I have green? Do I have pink? No. So maybe brown. Do I have anything close to brown? I have that rusty color. Well, I've got sort of this oiled bronze. Oh, there, that one's dark. Is it black? That's black. I don't want black. that black as well? That's black. Probably the same one. And I just picked it up again. I think I'm going to go with the rubbed bronze because that white looks way too white. For my liking. Yeah, much better. Now I will get one of those rust-colored brown ones out because they look nice with the green, and I am going to put it somewhere else. So I'll put that aside while I've got this out. I'm going to have to relabel that. It's getting hard to read now. What are you into? Oh, you're being a good girl. Okay. And then we can pick another spot for the green tab. Because I went and changed my mind. There. Then we can hang a little dangly off there. I like that. Because I glued it shut, I didn't worry about tying knots in these because the glue will just hold the threads down and they won't fray. So let me look at this again and see maybe where I want the green tab. I've already got one down here, back here. I feel like maybe it should be up here somewhere. Yeah, maybe up here. And maybe I should just stop playing around with it and not second guess myself. But look at this. I've got this left over. See, that would look... Oh, I got company. So I had to go get the door because my son was at the door. And oh, I want this side. And although it is, you'll be seeing this on Wednesday, it's actually Monday. And he had such a crazy day yesterday. He said to me, Mom, he messaged me yesterday and he said, Mom, can I come over tomorrow? He had a little Mother's Day thing for me. And I said, of course. I said, take care of your little family. He was working on the garden with his kids and his wife, and I decided I want this side because there's a little bit of delicate color. I could still use that for something. I got to use whatever color I can from this book. Anyhow, so I sat and had a lovely visit with my son, and it was nice. It's, I must say I enjoy every stage of this motherhood thing. I love the baby stage. The toddler stage scared me a bit, I must confess. I wasn't ever looking forward to potty training. But I survived it. And then I was afraid of the teenage stage. I want that off. Because I was a really good teenager, and I was worried that I would get challenging teenagers, and I wouldn't know what to do with a challenging teenager. But again, I was very fortunate. They were wonderful. And there we go. I'm just going to use this because it's handy, but I could have used art glitter glue. I just had this one last little thing to do because my sweetie pie just phoned and said, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So let's just put this here. I've got to make use of all the color I can while I can. Conversations with Josh are always so interesting. He's a teacher. And I always think how lucky his students are, because this child came out of me curious. And he still craves information and learning about things. And I always know that on a visit with Josh, he's going to say, now, did you know this? And it'll actually be interesting. And I'll say, no, I didn't know that. And now I know. He gets things going at his school, the science club and things like that. And he's just... well, they're all interesting people. I like how unique they all are. They each have their different talent and their different little quirks, and as they become adults, it matures and they just become more and more interesting. So it worked out nice. All right, I like that. That's pretty, and I can hang a dangle off of that. Let's punch that. I might see if I can find a tiny little Tim Holtz number to put there later. We'll see. This is the one we're going to put the brown one in. I'm saying this to remind myself, because actually it's been about 45 minutes, even though it seems like seconds on the video. I went downstairs and sat on the couch and had a nice long visit with Josh. He stopped in on his way home from school. Oh, come on, I must not have this in right. I'm going to stand up, because that was not chomping. There, that'll chomp. You're not chomping. You're not chomping properly. What's going on? There, I felt it that time. That's better. Okay. And then I can, this one has some little green sparkly things, so I'll find something different for the little pink one. Oh, I like that. And we'll find something different for this one. Oh, that was still a little wet when I put that on there. I'm just going to squeeze it a bit so it'll flatten out. There we go. I wonder how our little rags are doing. It's been a while. I'm going to grab the rags before we go. I probably shouldn't put this plate on here, but oh, this is still soaking wet. All right, I'm just going to leave these overnight. I'm going to turn out the light and walk away. And hopefully those will be beautiful in the morning, and hopefully my idea will have excellent photos to share on Instagram. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my experiments with watercolor and my reminiscing. I always go off on tangents. I'm sorry about that. I chatter on about things and then I end up going down memory lane. I guess it's a good thing. I should enjoy it while I can. Nice. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll get together soon. Take care. Bye.